What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, yesterday we did a full-length video covering industry insider KC Walsh tweeting out he heard that some of the animation over at Marvel Studios may be in trouble. Today we get a follow-up report coming from the Cosmic Circus expounding on that idea, talking about what's going on specifically with Spider-Man freshman year. And while I'd say initially maybe this doesn't sound too bad, it does sound like Disney has taken heed just a little bit from what they've already seen on Disney Plus, and if the interest isn't there, i.e. they're going to make a project just for the sake of it, they're not going to do that anymore. And while, yeah, as Marvel fans, we don't want filler, it doesn't mean we want them to cancel projects. That's where we find Spider-Man freshman year. We're going to break down the entirety of what this report says and the possibility that this or the second season of this show may be canceled. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this was published again today under the headline Exclusive Updates on Spider-Man Freshman Year from the Cosmic Circus, in response, the same way I did yesterday, to everything that's being said on social media, the rumors that a lot of stuff may get canceled. This is what they go on to say, quote, "The buzz about Spider-Man freshman year. Right now, fans are in a frenzy regarding a number of cryptic tweets that have recently been surging from several members of the Spider-Man freshman year production crew. From what has slowly risen in the past couple of days, it is believed that in part, if not most of the animation team behind the first season of the show is being laid off from their current positions, and that the same team that worked on this season will not be returning for the second season, otherwise known as Spider-Man's sophomore year." They go on to say, many have speculated that this spells doom for the show, some even believing that Spider-Man freshman year could outright get canceled, quote, "due to a lack of interest in animation. These unverified rumors have pretty much tangled up everything into a massive cobweb, probably no pun intended, where no one knows what's going on." They conclude the article by saying, from what they are currently being told by multiple sources, Spider-Man freshman year is still set to premiere at some point in 2024, some sources stating that it could air in the fall of 2024. The idea that the show might get canceled has been floated around. However, before moving forward with Spider-Man sophomore year, it's also their understanding that Marvel Studios will seek to gauge the interest from audience worldwide regarding that show, and that's exactly what we've heard about animation in the first place. They then say that there is also the factor of budget cuts currently taking place at Marvel Studios, and not just in terms of animation. Now, for a show that is rumored to come out 2 years from now, and for a panicking crew that is being laid off with no certainty for their future, you have to imagine that if they've already finished most of season 1, they're not going to go ahead and cancel that show. And from these reports, it certainly doesn't sound like these guys were canned in the middle of the project, but it also sort of sounds like they were anticipating continuing on for a season 2. And you know, when you're an animator in this industry, you do sort of plan your jobs job to job, and maybe some of them were under the belief they would start working on a second season when Marvel Studios isn't sure there'll even be a second season. But you guys got to keep in mind, it would be such a public disaster for them to outright cancel a project like Spider-Man freshman year that they've teased twice and in a live person presentation over the last year. So barring this show being very bad, which we'll talk about that in just a second, outright canceling the show is more of a public disaster than just paying the money to finish it. So that's where I anticipate it will still get released at some point in 2024. But this is indicative of what I pointed out in yesterday's video, especially about animation, how long it takes to develop and make these shows, the sort of resources that are being allocated. If Marvel and Disney doesn't see the watchers they need on these shows, okay, now pun definitely intended, then they're not going to go and keep making them. At some rate, when they were launching Disney Plus, they had to drum up a ton of excitement, but the bundle also includes Hulu and ESPN, and the recent subscriber numbers for that bundle even outweigh Netflix. So where there was a push to sort of make sure they had the hype for people to subscribe, they've already done that. Now making over budget projects that don't actually drive ratings is something they're going to look to avoid. We've also heard other murmurs in the industry about live action projects, also coming from Lizzie Hill, the editor-in-chief over at the Cosmic Circus, tweeting out just days ago, quote, "She's been hearing things lately from previous reliable sources that make her very, very concerned about the Echo live action project. She literally says, quote, "Previous Marvel productions have been reported to have problems but have come out okay. So I don't generally get that concerned, but I am concerned, hoping I'm wrong." She then added clarification this morning where she's hearing that the issues are actually with the production of the show, not the actress, not the Daredevil Kingpin stuff. None of the actors are what's going on their end, but rather the show's actual production is what's caused it to have the earlier reported delays this year, and now the real concern about what's going on with the project. And again, that's what I said during the prologue. Marvel apparently listened. They don't want to make stinker TV shows that none of us want to watch. Something like She-Hulk, to me, when I got the first 4 episodes in a pre-screener, I really enjoyed it. My review said that it was really fun. It was a really good outing for Marvel. That's before I saw episodes 5 through 7 and the absolute filler that they had shoved into that show. This stuff costs Marvel a lot of money, and the umbrella company, Disney, again, has people in the upper echelon crust who would rather see that money allocated elsewhere. Yesterday, we had talked about the fact that the brand new CEO, Bob Chapek, is more of a theme parks guy. Not that he won't invest in the cinema experience, and as I said during that video, the cinema experience is obviously tied to the merch is tied to the theme parks, it all works together, but Bob Iger was all about TV and film, was all about investing in Marvel in the cinematic experience. Bob Chapek is not exactly that way, and so this is what leads to budget cuts when the product that they put out didn't have the effect that they wanted, or rather it did. They got the subscribership up. Now they know some of these shows again are over budget and not getting the ratings they need. People are not watching. And so where it comes down to something like Spider-Man freshman year, I doubt that they won't put it out if they're already this far through production, but they may wait to see what happens with the ratings when they release that animated show. And if there isn't any interest in it, if people don't watch, well, then there's a good chance we're not going to see a season 2 and a diminishing size and scope of their animated sect over at Marvel Studios. Guys, I am all for them putting out a ton of Marvel projects. Obviously, I'm the guy who talks about it every day on YouTube, and I am a biased Marvel fan. The other thing about Marvel, and I've heard this real recently in some conjecture, but the fact that everybody always seems to leave out where we are with the MCU, Slate superhero fatigue, what's left to be done with the characters. First and foremost, the MCU has barely scratched the surface of good stories that are still left in 5+, almost 6+ decades of comic book storytelling at Marvel. Number 2, these characters, this IP, has been popular in varying degrees, but when done well, extremely popular and extremely lucrative for the same amount of time. It's hard to point to any other brands, Star Wars included, that drive this sort of devotion. So I wouldn't be worried about Marvel going anywhere or even a diminishing scope. I think when you have the sort of public outcry that you do about the less than Marvel quality, they're listening and says, hey, we're only going to do the stuff that you really want and do it well. We won't run out filler. And so, guys, we'll have to wait and see about Spider-Man freshman year, whether it's good or not. If the ratings are there, they'll make a season 2. But I'm really hoping, again, they didn't look at I Am Groot as the litmus for this, because I didn't watch I Am Groot. I got the pre-screener and I barely watched it. I didn't cover it at the channel. Some channels did, but it's not really MCU related in a way that Spider-Man freshman year will be taking place in a separate universe, retelling parts of the story we already know about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below really on all my ranting throughout this video. And quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We are still giving away a PlayStation 5 now at 1 million subscribers. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name Allfires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.